Howdy folks, it is day 8 of October. We've successfully completed 1 week of build days. I've been seeing so much cool stuff in the Discord from y'all that's been keeping me motivated, but I want to make sure I'm not burning myself out here. I keep starting projects that I think are going to be super quick and easy, and then they turn into something bigger. So today I'm going to do something that is actually quick and easy. I am just going to do a couple low pressure repairs on a few power tools that aren't working as they should be. And you know what? If they all don't go to plan and not all of them work, that's fine. First off, we have my corded jigsaw that is really loud for some reason, might just need an oil. We have my palm sander that broke in a video, I think last October. It functions okay, but there's no power switch, so it just instantly turns on whenever I plug it in. Not the best. I have a DeWalt battery that I killed on accident that should just need a little trickle charge to get it started again. And as mentioned in a recent video, I have my router that I think just needs a brush replacement. Now, I don't want to accidentally clickbait you. Am I gonna actually fix all of these in this video successfully? I'm doubtful, but we're gonna do something. If I can get 2 of these working, I'll call that a success. None of it should be hard. We are definitely gonna need the soldering box today. I'm gonna start with the battery because I've done this before and I know it works. Since I built the DeWalt camera monitor a couple days ago, I haven't yet got into the habit of checking the battery level on this thing. And I think I left it running for like 2 days of video shoots straight on this battery and drained it completely. Not a good thing for its longevity. Normally when you put a battery on the charger, you should get a light, but when it's so dead that the charger can't even What? Well, what I was gonna say was the light didn't come on, and then you have to jump it from another battery. I guess after waiting about a day, now it's deciding to work. Man, I had a whole rant planned about how tool elitists trash on Ryobi, but I think Ryobi batteries are one of the only ones that actually have a low voltage circuit protection. I don't know, I guess it's working now. For once, an easy project turned out to be not even a project. Wow. 1 out of 4 done. What I was gonna do is just run wires from the terminals, but you get the idea. Okay, well that's a great way to start the day. I wanna do the router because I was desperate to have this thing when I was doing all that woodworking on repairing the wooden speed booster. If you've never used a router before, it's effectively a giant Dremel. You stick a bit in there of whatever shape you're trying to cut, and then you've got a flat platform, so it's really easy to make consistent depths of cuts and chamfers. You can round over the edges of wood like it's nothing. Great tool. What do these holes do? Oh, this is gonna be really easy too. See here, I was thinking that I was gonna have to unscrew this thing, disassemble it all to get to the brushes, but it's literally right there. Like, this is so serviceable. I would have fixed this months ago if I knew that. Now, I guess I'm kind of jumping to conclusion that the brush replacement is what it needs, but we'll find out pretty quick. Anyway, I do have some replacement brushes here, so hopefully this is just plug and play. Down the chimney they go. There we go. Okay, test time. See if we can go 2 for 2. No. You know, in hindsight, maybe brushes wearing out wouldn't make it stop powering on. It would just run worse, but I don't know. Let's open this sucker up, because maybe it's just something as simple as the switch is bad. To me, I'm not seeing anything immediately fishy. Plugging it back in, I'm going to see if I can read the voltage across the power switch. I am reading 120 volts. If I go to the other side of the switch, it's still 120, so I know the switch is good. Okay, well at this point I've confirmed it's not the brushes, it's not the switch. I don't believe it's the speed controller, so it's something deeper. Look at that. Alright, last ditch effort and then I'm giving up for now. The brushes slide in to this hole, and then it looks like it contacts with the whole motor system right here, where these pads are now black. Could it be just the case that when the brushes wear out, there's just a bunch of gunk on there and that needs to get cleaned up? I'm just gonna put some fine sandpaper up against it and spin the thing. I'm sure any of you that actually know what's going on here are either cringing right now or being like, wow, he actually kind of figured it out. But you know what? I paid 50 bucks for this router. It gave me 50 bucks worth of work. If I kill it, that's fine. What if I stuck this in my drill truck? Alright, if that was the issue and that doesn't do it, I don't know what will. Now I gotta remember how everything goes back together. Screw it together just to make sure it's nice and tight. And we have a big old mess of wires coming out of it still, but... Flip the switch. Nothing. Dang, I actually thought that was gonna work for a second. Alright, well, we're 1 for 1. And the one win I do have is actually... I didn't do anything. I guess if anybody has any ideas about this router in the comments, let me know. And I am proud of the diagnostics that I did do on that. Just didn't pan out to be any of the things that I could manage today. Next up, palm sander. So the situation with this, I was in the middle of a woodworking project when it died and I just needed a quick fix. So I didn't even bother to crack the thing open. I just pulled the switch out physically from the outside. As you can see, I did solder 2 wires into there with the intention of making it a switch, but I didn't have much room to work without cracking the thing open. And I think just with my soldering iron in there, I melted both of the pins together. So I believe even with these wires not connected to each other, it still runs. So best course of action, I think, is to actually open it this time and get everything wired up to an actual wire. I bet this is gonna be just full of sawdust. And it is. It's worth mentioning my policy with power tools is usually buy the cheap one first, see how much you use it. When it dies, buy a better one. But you know, if I can keep the old one going, no reason to spend any money yet. Alright, well that's not much better, but it's certainly not worse. On my last repair, I just made a big old mess of this switch box, and there's no real reason for it to exist when I can just go to these wires. I've got this little push button switch that's sitting on my desk. I'm not sure that it's rated for the correct number of amps. How many volts is going through here? Oh, the full 120 is going through there. Holy cow. So the stock switch is rated at 8 amps at 125 volts. Let's see. These tiny little guys, 6 amps 125, 15 amps 250. And that is a big man switch. Yeah, that's gonna look hilarious. In theory, I don't even have to solder anything. I can just use some of these. Some little crimp connectors that'll go right up to the switch. Stick my little connectors on. Lovely. This is actually a very satisfying repair. A lot of times I do things just well enough to get away with it, but this one is actually kinda good. Alright, let's see if it closes up properly. It might need a little more trimming. Yeah, there we go. That feels sturdy. Very sturdy, actually. I guess I should have tested it before putting all the screws in, but here it goes. Hell yeah, dude. It feels even better than stock. That is awesome. Alright, that's a very satisfying repair. I actually did something pretty good. And I'm glad that I can use this thing normally now instead of having to plug it and unplug it all the time. Okay, we are 2 for 3. If that is all I get out of this video, and the DeWalt battery fix, I guess, I am plenty happy with that. But we still have the jigsaw. So here's the deal with this one. It works completely fine, but it sounds kind of awful when I'm running it at top speed. It squeaks. If I can get through this without making it worse, I'll be satisfied. Okay. Oh, right off the bat, actually, I think I know where the squeaking's coming from. Oh, it squeaked there. Don't know if that came through. There it is. I betcha just all the grease that was on this shaft here kind of got worked all the way up into the machine and maybe dried out because of sawdust on this. So although it might not be the only problem, I think we can improve the sound quite a lot by just re-greasing that. And I'm just going to douse it heavily because if there's too much, it'll just get worked off somewhere else. I think this is going to improve things a lot already. Feels way smoother. And now everything works as it should, and I'm not hearing that squeak at all yet, which is a great sign. Not too bad. I guess my goal with this is to show some people that this kind of stuff doesn't have to be super scary or require a ton of knowledge. Oh. maybe it does require a ton of knowledge. I don't know if that came through on camera, but when I pulled the trigger, there was a spark here. Oh, my brush was misaligned. This little guy just decided that he wanted to be sitting up instead of down. Well, I mean, it's still ridiculously loud. That's just kind of how this jigsaw is. But at least I opened it up, gave it a new re-grease. I'm gonna call that a half win. So we have a half win here, a half win with the DeWalt battery, an objective win with the palm sander, and an L with the router. But hey, I said at the beginning if I got 2 out of 4, I'd be happy, and 1 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 is 2. So there you go. I don't know. I feel like you can get some good work done on power tool repair, just going in with some safety and some common sense. A lot of these machines really aren't that complicated, and you can kind of tell what's going on just by looking at them. Hopefully this encourages you to not throw something away that maybe you would have otherwise. I hope you enjoyed this small little venture into power tool repair. I have an extra screw. Oh, it's from the router. I'm excited to keep seeing updates on what y'all are doing. You all motivate me much more than you know. Thank you for all the support and nice comments over the past week, and thank you for your time. It's just so fun.